Hello and welcome. I'm Angela Rudd and I am with Angela Artisan Interior Painted Creations. And I wanted to do a couple videos showing myself making some projects and how I get started for those of you who would like to do something like this at home or are just curious about how to get started. So this is how I do it. First of all, I get my painted surface. I have a pane of glass. I like to use glass out of picture frames. It's easy to get a hold of. However, I have to do something special to the glass. If you can see, it has some variations to it. That's because it's painted on. I take a white oil-based primer and I sloppily paint that on the back of my pane. Once that's dry, I paint a gray over top, which will show through, and then I will have my surface to work on after that's dry. In order to use alcohol inks, which is what we're going to do today, you have to have a nice slick surface. So I paint on the back. Once that's dry, I flip it over and that's going to be my surface. I get my table set up already before I even begin to think about painting. Underneath, I have puppy pea pads. They're very absorbent. They work great. They have plastic on the back and they're an absorbent top layer and you can use them over and over again. So as you can see, this looks like, you can tell I've used this for a while. And I just layer 2 puppy pea pads if you wanted to. You could even use the tabs on the back, the sticky tabs, to stick it down onto your surface. If you know this is the surface you're going to use over and over again and you don't have any other thing you have to do. So this could even be stuck on your surface for a while until you're ready to peel it off. So I endorse puppy pea pads for your base, because it does, you're working with alcohol, messy alcohol and alcohol ink. It's going to stain your surface and it's going to roll off. It's going to pull off like here. So I always have that ready first. Then I organize my inks. Here, I'll just show you. I use ice cube trays and I only use one side because what I do is, let's show you an easy one. I have little tiny pieces of paper and I have my test down in there. So each color, sometimes you can't tell from the bottle. So I have little pieces of paper with a test blot of each color. I just have to remember to put it back in the right place when I'm done. And that will help me know very quickly what the base color of these bottles is. I don't always use those. Sometimes I make my own up, but it's nice to know what to use when I start. As you can see, like some of these bottles are just flat out a bottle that I bought. And then some of these are not. These are little mixes that I made myself. I started out buying bottles to mix with. You don't have to do that. It's expensive. Go to the Dollar Tree, get eye drops for $1. All you do is pop out the little part in the middle. Here, use one of these. Use one of these little, what are those called? Needle nose pliers. Take those out, pop out the middle, fill it up with your own creation, pop it back in all the way, and you've got your own color mixes, and you don't have to buy every single color you want. But you do need a nice little stash to start with. I also use, when you mix the ink, you have to dilute it. Otherwise it won't spread. So you use alcohol to spread it, and you have to use the 91%. The 70% isn't strong enough. So you have to use the 91%. In fact, I have this in a few different containers when I'm getting ready. Here, let's move this over a little bit. Can we move this over? Maybe? Okay. I have a spray bottle with pure alcohol in it. I have a little squirty bottle with alcohol in it, and I have a dropper with alcohol in it. Basically because sometimes you want to spread that alcohol in different ways. Sometimes you want to spread it really far, and so you're going to need that spray bottle, and sometimes you just want a little bit, and so the dropper is really nice. So that's what I have for myself to use. Mixatives. Most of these are colors. Most of these are pure alcohol ink colors. Let me see if I can get this better for you. There you go. Most of these are pure alcohol ink colors. However, I love using metallics. Gotta get that ball going in here. They are called mixatives. This is the best. The Pinata brand is the best. And it's metallic, and so it's not actually, I don't know if it's actually an ink or not, but it's different. And you can't actually break it down and dilute it just with alcohol. You have to dilute it with a mixture of alcohol and glycerin. So I make myself up. I put it over on this other side. I've got all my pure alcohol over here and the mixative stuff over here. This breaks down my mixative. Look how pretty it is. It looks terrible. My mixative is 3 ounces alcohol to 6 drops of glycerin. So I just bought some glycerin online. This will last me forever. So that's all you need to make up a little bottle of mixative dilution solution. So then I put that in a little dropper too. I don't need a big spray bottle. I don't use this very much. So I have that too. And then if you're noticing, I have these itty bitty paintbrushes. They don't look itty bitty, but when you notice their tips, they're super, super tiny. I use this for detail work. And then my cups, I use those for circle creation. Like if I'm doing something and I want to circle there, I use that for circle creation. I also have just a piece of test paper. This is from the picture frame. I just saved that little slick piece of paper, and I use that to test my colors first. When I'm trying to decide what color variation I want to use, I use this little free piece of paper to test my colors on first before I get started with the process. Also, you always want to use some gloves. This stains your fingers like crazy and gets under your fingernails, and it just doesn't look very pretty. So that's how I get started when I get ready to create a picture. Now, I do use a couple pieces of, you call them machinery? I don't know. I use a blow dryer. Call it what you want. I have a blow dryer over here that I use. You want one that you can, look how pretty it is. It's just got a lot of paint on it. You want one that can go on several different levels if possible. One that goes cold. And what I have done is I have taken a piece of cheesecloth. This looks great. You guys are seeing all my tricks here. A piece of cheesecloth that I have put over top and used this fancy rubber band to hold on. And I've noticed that this helps when I'm trying to blow things in certain ways. It dilutes the airflow a little bit and helps it spread a little easier and more evenly. And then if I do want something to dry up quicker and faster, I have a heat gun that I use. And so I may pick up the heat gun if I notice that I want something to dry kind of right there. I don't want it to spread a lot. I just want it to kind of dry right there. Usually I use it when I'm trying to make circles and I've got my circle down and I really want to save that circle. I'll use the heat gun. So I use the heat gun too. So are you ready to get started? I've got all my stuff ready. Let's go.